Welcome back, guys. I thought I would take a look at another Debian distribution. But before I get into that, I just want to go over a couple things because I actually attempted to review a couple of different distributions, and I just want to go into going to get into Distrowatch. So I took a look at the top distributions. You have Mint, Debian, Ubuntu, OpenSUSE, Fedora, Mageia, Manjaro. Now, I have most of you who watch my videos know that I really like Manjaro, and everything just seems to work. The package availability is excellent. Once you get used to the package management system, it's a breeze. I haven't had any issues with drivers or anything like that, so I really like Manjaro. I reviewed Fedora. It's a little bit different, but if you're used to Fedora, I'm sure it's a fine day-to-day operating system. I was going to take a look at Mageia. I downloaded Mageia 5, and I did everything I could to get that up and running properly to do a review with no luck at all. It installed. I was able to get it running. It looked very nice. But every time I started up any type of screencasting software or a video software, it would give me a message missing codecs. When I went into the package management system, they evidently have a category of tainted and non-free. And so I did a little digging on that, and basically non-free is the non-free, and tainted is distributions that Mageia doesn't normally pass along. But I could not find a way to determine which codecs were missing, and I couldn't, for the life of me, I could not get any GUVC view, cheese, simple screen recorder. They installed, but they wouldn't start up, and they would just hang. With GUVC view, the camera image popped up for a second, then disappeared. It was difficult. I must have spent about an hour trying to get Mageia running so I could do a review. And actually it looked quite nice. And it looked like something that I might enjoy using, but number one, the install is not as intuitive and easy. I wouldn't recommend it for a beginner. They wouldn't know what they were doing. They ask all kinds of questions about the system install, the partitions, very confusing questions that beginners would have a lot of trouble with. So for you know, if you guys haven't tried it, you might want to give it a go. But I don't have any trouble installing most distributions on my equipment, and yet Mageia, nope. And this is the second time I've tried to do a review on Mageia and ran into the same problems last time, but I figured I'd try it again. So I thought I'd pass that along. In this day and age, there should not be any distribution that cannot run Kazam and GUVC View and tells you have missing codecs. All of that should be configured out of the box. There's really no excuse for that. And so I hope Mageia gets its act together because it looks like it could be a nice distribution, but I'm not going to go back to it for a while. So what I decided to do is take a look at another Debian distribution. Since I couldn't review Mageia, I decided to do another Debian review. Now, this is Tanglu. Tanglu. Now, I will tell you that it comes in two flavors. It's got the KDE or the Gnome. I tried to install the KDE because I wanted to do something with the Plasma desktop. It installed, but it kept crashing. I would start it up, I would sign in. Even the install, when I went to install it, it was asking me to sign in as a live user. So I did, but I'm not sure if that's really necessary. If you click on install, it should install. You shouldn't have to go through passwords and things like that to install. I can understand setting up your password during the install, but not having to, because not everybody reads the install instructions to find out what the password is. And the password is live, L-I-V-E. So I did I tried to install the KDE version, and as I said, it did install. I was able to boot into it, but once I got to the desktop, it signed me out. It locked up, put me back to the login screen, telling me something had gone wrong. So after about 4 or 5 times trying that, I decided to try the Gnome version. Now, this is the Gnome version. Couple of things that I don't like right off the bat. Now, I did download the Gnome tweak tool so I could get icons on the desktop and things like that. So, and I did download GeoVC View and Kazam, and it did install, and I am using it. But there are a couple of issues. One is this desktop wallpaper is really blotchy. It looks very funny. I'm not sure how it's coming through in the video, but that's the default wallpaper. You see over here, it's kind of all blotchy. I'm gonna just change it to a Debian wallpaper, just a plain old Debian. Okay, that's better. And for some reason the icons are really supersized, so I'm not sure if I am able to change that. I can organize the desktop, I can change the background, but I'm not sure I can change the icon size. Resize icon. Okay. Resize icon. I guess you have to do all of them individually. So we will go ahead and do that. Okay, so that's a little better. Now, this Gnome desktop crashed on me once so far, and I had to reboot. And it did it when I was in the tweak tool, and when I went to the workspaces and I tried to reduce the amount of workspaces I went from dynamic to static, and then when I started clicking down on the number of workspaces to get it to 1, it crashed. Put me back at the login screen. I had to log back in again. Kind of like that. But anyway, so now I'm down to 1, and that's fine. I've got the, let's see, I put the dark theme on. The desktop, I've got icons on the desktop. And I have activated some extensions. The applications menu, the places, which is basically just your drives and folder locations and things like that. The removable drive menu is over here. And user themes, I don't have any, but I activated it. And the window list on the bottom, that's why I have the bar at the bottom. It's showing the window list. And that is all I did on the extensions. Fonts I left alone. Keyboard I left alone. Power I left alone. I have not added any startup applications. The top bar, I'm showing the date and the time, and I'm leaving everything else alone. Typing now, I did activate the key sequence to kill the X server. That's a nice thing to be able to do if the distribution becomes unstable. At least you can control Alt backspace and get out of it. Windows, I pretty much, the only thing I changed is the maximize and minimize, to add the maximize and minimize on the Windows. And workspaces, I mentioned I brought it back down. I brought it down to 1. So applications out of the box, accessories, the usual game. There's a few games. Graphics is Shotwell, LibreOffice Draw. Internet, Empathy, Ramina, and Firefox. Office is LibreOffice. Science is the math. Sound and video, I installed GU, VCView, and Kazam. VLC Media Player, I believe, came along with Kazam. And I tried using VocoScreen, my new favorite screencasting software, and it would not run. Print settings, then system tools. I downloaded the tweak tool. Everything else is out of the box. And utilities are your basic utilities. Now for your settings, you've got background notifications, all the usual abilities to tweak the system. And right now the system seems to be running fine. If I were to keep this, I would get rid of the bottom bar, and I would probably put a plank dock in there. But I'm kind of disappointed that I wasn't able to review the KDE version, because I wanted to do a review of the Plasma desktop. So this is based on, I believe it's the Debian stable. It is not the testing. And as I said, I only installed 2 apps, GU, VCView, and Kazam. So if I go into Tanglu's website, let's see, we will just double check to see. And it doesn't say that it's based on testing, so it's more than likely based upon Debian stable. And that is about it, guys. It's a little bit buggy, as I said. And if right now I'm running 2 Debian distributions, Point Linux and plain old Debian testing, which I thought it was still the Jesse version, but it is called Stretch. So I'm running Point Linux and Debian Stretch. I'm very happy with those two, and those will be my Debian distributions for a little while. I'm running Peppermint 6 on my Chromebook, and I also have a couple of Manjaro distributions running. And I also still have Architect, the plain vanilla Arch distribution installed through the Architect installer, which I've been running for, I guess, about a month. And that is rock solid stable. No issues at all. Everything just runs and runs perfectly. About equal to Manjaro. So guys, that's it for today. That is the Tanglu Debian distro with the Gnome desktop. So as always, guys, thanks for stopping by, and I will see you soon, guys. Take care.